Hello, beautiful. Welcome or welcome back. I am EBINOTTI, and today we are doing the new moon reading. So new moon is currently in Capricorn. Can you feel it? Can you feel that end of the year, New Year's Eve, beginning of Capricorn, full-blown season? Can you feel it yet? So we crossed into Capricorn on the winter solstice, which was December 21st. The new moon was last night-ish, depending where you are in the world. And if you're watching this when it comes out, it is New Year's Eve. So happy New Year's Eve, the end of the Gregorian calendar, to absolutely everybody watching. I hope that you're having a great celebration tonight to finish out what I'm starting to feel like is the masculine timeline cycle. Hear me out, okay? So the Gregorian calendar, all over the internet, wherever you go, you can see people talking about the timelines, the calendars, what year are we in, why are there different places on the planet considering themselves in different years, different seasons. They read the time differently. Out here in the Western world, if you don't know, I'm a Canadian. I am in Northern British Columbia, Canada, on the West Coast. So we get the masculine timeline out here a lot. We really live off of it. It's the capitalist, logic-based, judicial system breakdown of time, and that's how we like to do it. Whether we like it or not, that's how we live out here, is a better way to say it. So the end of the timeline right now, even though a lot of spiritual people are feeling like the timeline really does more end or transition through the winter season at the end of the winter season, and then we begin the new year of spring. There's still an ending now. There's still a completion that needs to be discussed. So going into the winter season with the winter solstice, I really wanted to get up a winter solstice reading, but I lost my voice for the exact day that I was trying to film. So it ended up just getting scratched, and I hope you guys had a beautiful winter solstice regardless. But with the winter solstice and the beginning of the winter season, we felt the death energy come in because all of nature reflects it back to us. So if this is the end of your calendar year, your work year, the kids' schooling, takes that break and you get that kind of ending feeling, nothing wrong with that. Work with the timeline that you're on, work with your world. Your world is going to be a very important theme moving forward, especially as we start into Capricorn season. So working with that ending of the timeline, there's nothing wrong with feeling now like you need some rest, some hibernation. You want to pull back a little bit after the holidays, however you celebrate it. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to you. I really hope you had a beautiful holiday regardless of how many things went exactly to plan. Okay, I hope you felt the love and the friendship and the kindness around the meal or celebration or event that you decided to work with this year. Which is kind of throwing me a little bit because it's like, again, that timeline gives us so many of what we're supposed to be doing. We forget a lot of the timeline that we're actually on. So that's what I'm trying to say. Going into the winter season, whether you feel the need to hibernate and pull back or not, there's a lot of feeling within the collective. No surprise to me because I read for us a lot. No surprise that the feeling in the collective is like wanting to get a jump start on what we know is right around the corner with spring. So that feeling of it might be the end of the year for some. But for others, it just feels like yet another transition into yet another super productive, super progressive, lots of ambition, lots of energy kind of time. So whether you're working with winter in the hibernation, slow it down, rest and recovery, reflect and heal, or you're working with it like, let's get a jump start. We'll deal with this shit as it comes up with the healing, the reflection, and the recovery. We'll deal with that on the go. So I'm loving that the collective is split. It really makes it fun for me to read for the collective, picking up all the energy. How are we feeling? What's going on? How's that moon affecting us? So if you don't know and you are new here and it's your first time meeting me, hi, I'm EBINOTTI. We read the moose cycle. Up in Canada, we almost do. We read the moon cycles. So new moons and full moons, other astrological celestial events that are relevant to the divine feminine. I am a divine feminine, so we read for the divine feminine collective here at EBINOTTI, but that doesn't mean that we don't have divine masculine energy, that masculines are not welcome or relevant or equal in some way. Of course not. That would be crazy. Okay, so we're going to get into the tarot reading today. We'll pull our oracle cards first and then do tarot like we do. I haven't picked out any decks for us yet today, so we're doing it off the cuff. I did get a new deck from my auntie for Christmas, which is very exciting. That'll be out on the channel shortly-ish. But today it's feeling like we're starting with the goddesses. If you're curious about the cards that I use, my entire collection is listed and linked down in the description box, so make sure you check that out. Starting with the Goddess Oracle today, I'm torn between now dragons and crystals, so I think we're just going to shuffle up the goddesses and see what they have to say and then know who needs to pair with that as we move forward. Any offers that I have, any inquiries about contact, anything like that, you'll find down in the description box as well. So please make sure you check that out if you're curious. Top of the comment section, I like to pin some important links or information as well, so make sure you check that out. EBINOTTI is on other social media platforms as a brand. That is me. Hi, it's just me. So make sure you check out EBINOTTI on other brands. I have a beauty channel here on YouTube. Instagram, same way, is split between the spiritual and the sort of lifestyle beauty stuff. Cheers to you if you're having some sips this morning. Please ignore my splotchy red face today because it's winter, okay? It's happening. I'm having a little bit of a breakout after all of the Christmas treats. My guts are fully over the baked goods and Christmas deliciousness. I'm fully over it. It's like white meat turkey and some veggies on the side now. I can't have any of the richness or anything. My stomach's like, please make it stop. So cheers to you if you're still sipping the good sips with the coffee, because we don't give up on the coffee. Am I contemplating quitting coffee right now? Yes. Have I quit coffee yet? No. So cheers to you. So the first thing coming in for downloads while we shuffle and get ready, other than everything we've already talked about, is that feeling of New Year's resolutions. This is a big download that I've been processing for the collective now for almost a couple weeks. It's almost been 2 weeks since this message came in. Why we're not going to give up on New Year's resolutions. We are not going to give up on writing our New Year's resolutions, at reflecting on the year that passed and the year to come. And believing in all of our changes, whether it's the same old changes, the same old stuff that you've been writing on your New Year's resolutions list since you're a fucking teenager. It doesn't matter. If it's your weight loss goals, if it's your quit smoking, get off the caffeine, stop the sugar, whatever it is, it might be repetitive. It might be pointless even, and we're still gonna do it. And here's why. So the message that really was coming through was don't give up. Okay, it's a really simple, easy to digest kind of message. Don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on the improvements that you've always wanted for yourself. The thing that we can release or let go of, and I'm sure that'll come up in our messages today, is anything superficial. If anything that really doesn't matter in the grand scheme or the spiritual matter of things, if your physical body bothers you so much that you can't align spiritually, deal with it. But likely it's going to be a mental or emotional thing to deal with more so than the actual physical body that you can't seem to get into alignment with. You can't seem to accept it, to allow it, to surrender to it, to love it, even though you likely fought and pleaded and lobbied to get this life, to get this body. If the concept of us really signing spiritual contracts to come into this life is a thing, think about that for a second, whether you're into the beliefs of it or not. Just conceptualize it as a concept. What do you think about that idea? Do you feel like you're doing, all of the things you said you would, or that you feel that you should, you know, respect the vessel, love the vessel, appreciate the vessel, you know, stay in alignment with the vessel. We might not be perfect, but the one thing I learned about that type of progress is that it's not that, you know, it's progress over perfectionism. It doesn't really work or fit when it comes to self-love because the reality of self-love is self-loathing. You have to accept and understand the parts of yourself that are not acceptable to you so that you can surrender to divine, okay? And that's the key. It's like, if you haven't figured out self-love yet, that's why, because you don't want to face the self-loathing. And there's, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty solid on my philosophies here. There is no path to self-love that does not involve your self-loathing, your loathing of yourself, your life, and your world. So internal and external, there are layers to deal with loathing, okay? And that's where self-love really comes in. A lot of people that you look at them and you're like, what's your secret? You clearly fucking love yourself. You accept yourself in ways that at times make me uncomfortable, mostly just inspire me though. So what's the secret? And they'll tell you every single time. Most of these people have hit rock bottom, their own personal rock bottom. There was nowhere lower to go. So it was either give in, fully hate yourself, fully become destructive, fully throw it all to the wind, jump the cliff, you don't give a fuck anymore. That's the layer beyond your rock bottom, is just like fully giving up. Outside of that, you continue to move up. You accept things that most people can't accept. You face things, your fears, your disillusions, the lies you've told yourself, what really happened, good, bad, and ugly. Sometimes we make things way better than they were, and sometimes we make them way worse. So people that tend to have that exuding, that energy of self-love, that's probably their secret. They got some fucking stories, man. These people will break it down without the shame, you know, without the stickiness to resentment, because resentment is like this parasitic, sticky resin. It's really difficult to get off you once it gets all up in your shit. Like once it's in the weave of the fabric, it's in there, you know, and you have to really work hard to get it out. So keep that in mind with things like resentment. When we are constantly judging others, when we are constantly loathing, hit that emotional connection to loathing, when we're looking out at the world, at people, at situations, at things, just know that that is a reflection of your own self-loathing, and it's probably time to address that in some serious ways if you want that type of alignment. A lot of people function really well in loathing. They're good at it. It makes their jobs better. It makes their, you know, and if they go down this path now of becoming kind and balanced and meek, even in spirit, it's like they're gonna fucking lose everything. So that's the warning, you know. If you've built an entire lifestyle, your funding, all your money, all your health, all your abundance has been built on self-loathing over self-love, and now you want to switch, you might lose a lot of that stuff. And it doesn't mean that you can't get it all back, better, bigger, badder, stronger, but it will be a transition, right? So it can be a quick and dirty. You lose it all, you get it all back, Donald Trump, right? Or it can be something that's like, now you're going 40 days in the desert. You're going on a fucking spiritual journey. You're leaving all of these things you thought you were behind because you've identified with them. And to shirk that identity now is going to be like pulling that resin out, okay? Stripping layers off the skin. So for all of the collective that have been having skin issues, yes, there's a lot, everything to do with diet. That being said, on the spiritual level, for people having all kinds of purging, all kinds of, and I mean all kinds of purging, my friends, all kinds of skin issues, anything to do with the teeth, the nails, and the hair, let it pass. Okay, you can, yes, go to the doctor, do what you normally do, trust and love yourself and the education you have in your life. But on a spiritual level, for the self, let it pass. Know that whatever's coming up emotionally in your dreams, in your real life, between you and friends, you and family is extremely relevant under this energy. So let's snap it back and remember why we're here for a second. New moon Capricorn. What's Capricorn all about? Gets a bad rap for being satanic energy. There's a dark side to all energies. So yes, that's relevant, but I don't want to talk about that now. I want to talk about the balanced Capricorn. What is Capricorn about, if not our core fucking values? Capricorn is the eldest earth sign, the eldest in the third dimension. Who would be more educated, sophisticated, and capable mentally of understanding all of the earthly realm, all the feminine aspects of life? Who would be more capable than Capricorn? Right here. What do we know? We know that Satan, the devil, Lucifer, big liar energy. And to be a good liar, if you've ever seen a bad liar, you know, or if you yourself can spot a good and a bad liar, it means you are a good liar. To be able to be a good liar, a good manipulator, for good or bad or ugly, let's not even go there with it and that assessment, but maybe you need to this season. You got to be highly intelligent. That's what we call highly intelligent. You're not just like we're average. You're highly intelligent. You are capable of reading and inputting on other beings on the planet. Highly intelligent. People like this are good with animals. People like this are really good in the corporate world because they maneuver very well. It's the diplomatic approach, if you will, the ability to manipulate. So parents are very good at this, believe it or not. And it's not about lies or deceit or Satanism or masochism or any kind of abuse or perversion or distortion. It's actually about protection. Big understanding here. So if you've been hyper focused on the dark around you, the shit that you're dealing with, the things that are coming at you, it's time to flip and understand the other side of Capricorn. Capricorn is one of the most powerful energies that we get under in terms of a moon cycle. And it's very simple to understand. You're in the 3D. It's the eldest of the third dimension, period. Within the zodiacs, if you get how it goes, there's the first group, which is the youngest signs of the zodiac, earth, air, fire, water. Then there's the middle child, and then there's the elders. My ear just started ringing. It just went and rang so hard. So the eldest of the zodiac sign, earth, air, fire, water, you get Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. We just came out of Sagittarius season when we crossed with the winter solstice. So we start with fire, Sagittarius, you get the Archer, firing desire, firing off desire all the month of December, right up until Christmas. And right before Christmas happens, we switch into Capricorn. So think of the way that they program us to fuck that situation up. Think of the way that they program us to desire things that have nothing to do with our well-being. All year long, they got marketing schemes getting ready for Christmas. You better believe that the marketing schemes for Christmas start in fucking March, all the way back in the spring when they start to program you to desire yet another Gregorian calendar masculine timeline, another cycle of desire, another cycle of upgrade. I talk a lot about the upgrade. We all do here at EBINOTTI. Upgrading the ambitious, the entrepreneurs, wealth in its true form, and all of that. Because it is the most important thing to us once we've got our survival in check, which is why they attack that arena the most. We know that there are places that we literally call pop culture Sin City. And we all desire to go there. Oh, I'm going to have my bachelorette in fucking Vegas. Guys, are you getting it yet? Are you getting it yet? So the timeline, whether you work masculine, feminine, spiritual, ethereal, it doesn't matter. The timeline can be yours. You can take the tainted version of it and flip it as easy as they do. Okay. So we're going to get into this now with the cards. Excuse me. We're starting on the bottom of the deck, the Goddess Oracle with Solace, illness and wellness. Okay, it's not surprising to see a bit of a theme coming in that we're going to have to focus on our health, Not surprising. There's a lot of desperation, a lot of thirsty energy up in this season. So you already know what it is. If you've got that within yourself, that desperate, thirsty energy, you have to focus on your wellness. Okay, no one's going to come in, no doctor, no boyfriend, no ex, nobody's going to come in and make it all better if you can't self-regulate here, okay? So even knowing you need help, I need to go see the doctor. I need to get some things off my mind. I need to get my blood checked. I need to get my hoo-ha checked, whatever it is, okay? There are things on the mind now that are coming in, need to get pushed aside, need to get that expert. We need to delegate, somebody come in and help. You've got something really simple and you just, I'm not going to say can't. You don't want to do it alone. You don't feel right doing it alone. You just need some emotional support. Phone a friend. Okay, this is as simple as that. We need to not let the mind trick us into thinking that something is beyond us when it comes to illness and wellness, when it comes to our really strong, probably not that healthy desires. So cravings, that desperation energy coming up again, being a little thirsty. They know how to, here's a message coming through for the collectives. They know well enough psychologically, physically, and spiritually how to trigger certain emotions within you as you're scrolling, as you're walking. I mean, there's even theories now that they're like affecting the weather and putting certain chemicals out to make us feel some type of way. Is the fog making us sick? We don't fucking know yet, okay? So there's a lot of give it a feel, see how it feels in the body, and deal immediately too. There's no point in putting something off right now that can be dealt with when it comes to illness and wellness. So let's just not put that off right now, okay? And a lot for me physically, a lot of it comes down to taking the time for the self. Card for the reading. We got Bloodvid, yeah. Bludavid. I just call her Bloodvid, but do you see the eyes, baby? We're going to talk about betrayal. That's our card for the reading, betrayal. My God. Full moon Capricorn, I just said, which we won't get for 6 months. We are opening Capricorn, which we don't do the opening and closing of the zodiac quite like that, even though with the elders, we probably should. But new moon Capricorn is the beginning of what will be the full moon Capricorn in 6 months, right? So you get the opening and then eventually the closing, and we're opening with betrayal. It's not surprising if you look at politics, the church, the throne, and the New World Order aristocracy. If you look at the big powerhouses in the world, it's not surprising that collectively this is the energy coming up. It's like, is anyone looking fucking sideways right now at all of like our leaders and just being like, the fuck? Like, even for those of us who knew it was bad, we might not have known it was like this bad. Like, I know for me, each layer that I had to go through to understand some really harsh truths in our world when it comes to capitalism, the conquerors and the conquered, a little bit of that history when it comes to religion. It was just like, oh, it hurt on layers. And now the betrayals are being exposed at such an astounding rate that people are probably feeling a lot of depression, a lot of this betrayal energy, and maybe taking it out on some family, some friends, some lovers, the people we care about the most literally see the worst sides of us. So make sure you're making your apologies when you're having those moments. If you don't know, there's trees right outside the window that you guys are situated on, and little Alvin, the squirrely chipmunk, just went flying up the trees, and I haven't seen him for a while, so I'm glad he's still kicking and he got the nuts that we gave him and he's having a great winter. So keep in mind, there are friends and there are foes, and even our friends become our foes and then go back to friend again. That is the concept of being able to forgive, and even more so, having the intelligence to be able to see, to know the difference and discern between people who deserve your forgiveness and people who don't. Okay, bottom of the deck, the corn woman with nourishment. Look at that beautiful message of abundance and of nourishment, that your body will be nourished, your mind will be nourished, your spirit. So there is no lack here. We have what we need. We have it for each other. There's enough to share. Corn was a beautiful symbol of being able to share. It was the original gold in the story of like Pocahontas. Let's go with Pocahontas over the Pilgrims. In the story of Pocahontas, when the Europeans showed up looking for gold, she brought them corn and she was dead ass. You can imagine how that went down in real life, right? And they were like, the fuck is this? And she's like, you eat it. Like, what else are you looking for that's golden and valuable in this land? Like, what do you want? I thought this is what you wanted. You know what I mean? And they're just like, the fuck? And they, you know, probably didn't take that very well on their, and then some of them, you know, the people that do have the discernment to be like, oh, maybe this person is actually giving me something valuable. Let me ask them a few questions about this golden substance that they're so into. And those people within the regiments and the armies ate well in this land. They ate well when they were here because they asked the locals. Okay, so there's an energy here coming in of both ask the locals. If you're not sure, okay? If you're not sure how to feel, ask the fucking locals, and not the ones who play tourist in their own country, who play patriot in their own country. And I mean surface level patriotism, goes with the crowd. We call them sheeple or sheep. No, you want to look for people that are patriots and, you know, faithful in their roots. And again, these are the type of people that don't give up. So the message again coming back, don't give up. Don't give up. Sow them seeds, because you know how the game really goes. It doesn't matter how bad it gets in the 3D, third dimension. It doesn't matter how bad it gets in the third dimension. You know who you are, where you come from, the truth, and how abundant and capable you are. You can't be pushed off that message because you know it. Excuse me, in your physical now, okay? So Bloodved coming through to tell us a lot of things. This is a very, very coming through, very mother, very crone with the energy. There's elder wisdom to be had here, my friend. So open up them eyes, face forward, and take a good look, because you're about to learn a lot about it. Okay, I'm going to have some sips here. I still haven't quite put us on the next oracle deck. Okay, I wasn't expecting that, but let's do it. We're going to do the Anubis Oracle next with Bloodved. The Anubis Oracle, a little bit of that life and death cycle coming through, okay? So we're going to take it back to the old gods of ancient Egypt and see how they pair up with the goddesses today. This has a very masculine energy, being Anubis right now, so it's like a feminine, masculine with the goddesses, and then the ancient Egyptian gods. There are goddesses, ancient Egyptian goddesses in this deck as well, so it's not just a masculine deck, but it's got that feeling right now where we're going to look at the masculine now. Now that the feminine had its say, the masculine's like, great, can I counter that? Yes, you can. Okay, so in a big way, the message coming through is learning how to debate again with respect and clarity, because you can be as respectful as you want and the other person's all fucked up and they're all in their feelings and they don't hear a damn word you said. So unless it was a recorded debate, there's not a lot of value coming out of it, because one person was in it and the other person couldn't hear shit, didn't have anything valuable to say, couldn't make a straight argument. So what makes a debate very, very valuable? And that's what we're going to focus on. Under this new moon Capricorn, we're not getting into fights, and we're not going to waste energy debating with somebody who's not capable of listening to us, okay? Because it's not about whether or not we are heard. It's whether or not the debate had any value for anyone else. It's very easy to get into an argument emotionally, but it's a little bit more consciously driven to get into an argument and actually learn something, or change an opinion, or form an opinion for the first time. Okay, so we're doing a lot of that type of assessment, a lot of that type of kind of analytical praise, because we don't want to just analyze things to tear them apart. We don't want to just analyze things to be like, I knew they were going to betray me. Look at all the evidence in the 13 years we've known each other. Forget it. What a fucking waste of your time, okay? You're even better off to get into an argument with that person and see if you can't dig out some truth that hasn't been spoken, some things you might not have quite processed or understood from the other perspective, okay? So bottom of the deck, card number 4, the Tree of Life, Bast, Anubis, and Osiris. Okay, all coming together. Bast, Anubis, and Osiris. I mean, to me, it's feeling very familial, meaning your whole family be out here. In the Tree of Life, it's your bloodline. It's where you come from. It's where we all come from, but yours specifically. With these 3 characters, you get your bloodline, your immediate family, your representation of the Tree of Life. The vessel with the chakra system with you in there is the Tree of Life. That is the, you know, you are the cross. Do you get what I'm saying? You can't nail someone to a body. That's that representation. So it's kind of like this sick, sacrificial, cannibalistic type of, no, we don't do that. Okay, so cleaning up the Tree of Life in a big way. And let's talk about the spring garden. I know we just crossed into winter, and a lot of people are like, why are you talking about the spring? Because in the winter, we plan. We plan for the new life, the new Year's resolutions. You see how they're even like trying to give us this? Even in some ways, they try to give it to us, and then they just try to distort it. As long as they can get you to pervert it or abuse it, distortion complete. Okay, so looking at and doing a little bit of hanged man energy here, out by the river, under the tree, like sitting where I sit with trees outside. Okay, it's doing a little bit of grounding and connecting with nature, but it's not about just grounding. It's about the alignment of the entire vessel. Okay, so we're checking it out, doing a little assessment within the chakras and just seeing, is there anything squidgy up in here that I don't want or need? It's that resin parasitic type of energy kind of coming through again to be like, you know, might be in one of them chakras, or it might be all up in your system. So you can work with the elders or people, you know, that are practiced around you to heal some of that stuff if you can't quite sort it out on your own. But like I always say, with the Tree of Life, with the vessel, you know, it's yours. So don't expect other people to heal you all the time, even if you have lots of money, lots of power, lots of healers around you. You know, you have to self-regulate under the winter season because everything in nature is on its own right now. Okay, and that's just how it goes. Ooh, and on the bottom of the deck is our theme for the reading now, card number 24, the desert. It's going to be a little desolate, okay? The desert. I just heard someone say, that's how dry my coochie is. The fuck? And I just love it because we are safe. This is a safe space for adults and divine feminines to come together and discuss it. That's how dry my coochie is, she said. The fuck? You might want to deal with that, babes. Get you water. Everybody knows you got to drink water during this season, okay? You can't do water. It's like cucumbers, celery, fucking berries and smoothies. Like, get the fluids in. You got to work on them fluids, my girl. Bottom of the deck for the reading, sacred archetypal element of fire. So it's not just the desert, it's the sun, the blazing, beating sun in the middle of the desert. Okay, so we know our resources are going to be real important. We know Capricorn, we need to focus on stuff like that. Where do we have desert energy in our life? Because the sun is just completely drying everything out. It is way overdoing it. Like if you have juicy plants, they're about to die. And I don't mean that in your life, that's my psychic message for you. I mean, in a metaphorical way, it's very important to protect from this type of energy, because if you can't function elementally in the desert, you die. A lot of things found ways to create their own version of life in that environment. And a lot of people and animals and creatures and things have gone through the desert and survived, come out the other side like an adventure. But here it's like you got to protect because the elements are about to scorch the earth. If you have any kind of prepping, got to get this and that sorted in terms of a survival around your survival materials, that's the message. You know, just prep for a little bit of that 40 days in the desert. You want to make sure you've got everything. You double checked your safety pack, your backpack, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Wow. And If bottom of the deck, card number 24, the desert, is our theme for the reading, here's our card for the reading. Card number 23, the pyramid. This is the sacred archetypal element of earth. So we got fire and earth back to back, and that's exactly why Blodved is the goddess. Okay, very simple to understand. With the goddess oracle, bottom of the deck, card for the reading, we have some serious feminine energy, earthing and going dark. Lilith, if you don't know about this moon being a dark moon, when we have 2 new moons in the same calendar month, they call the second one a dark moon. So that's what we got going on here. We got the dark moon. Also the new moon, all new moons are called dark moons. It's because that's when the light, I'll show you here, that's when the light is completely gone. It's the full illumination, the whole face of the moon, perfect round disc, perfect symmetry up in our sky, and then it wanes until boom, you can't see shit. You get the tiniest little sliver from new moon to waxing. You get the tiniest little sliver come out, and that's it. And we call that part the new moon. But the new moon, in terms of the astrological event, is the dark moon. Okay, when we get 2 in a calendar year, that's when people are like, oh my God, it's gonna be crazy. And they're right, it's gonna be crazy, especially under Capricorn as a season. So for the reading, we got power and betrayal. You know, the earth element, the betrayal within the earth element, feminine, crone energy. We've talked about dark crone here on this channel, and it looks like we're going into a season where we're gonna need to talk a lot more about it, okay? The dark crone, so maiden, mother, crone are the 3, I don't want to say levels, but the 3, I can't find the word, within the feminine life cycle. This is crone energy coming off of mother, so it could go either way in your life, in your experience, for the collective, for all of us, whatever. And then power, earthly realm power, pyramids, the 3, the number 3, the 3 points of anything. When 3 things come together, they create a pyramid. That is the first stage of power. Okay, so this is young power. This is acting very immature type of power. This can go easily dark. This can easily, you can easily throw shit away. That's basically the whole message. If you want to just beep and click out now, that's basically the whole message here. Even when we get into tarot, that's what we're going to break down, is that understanding. You can easily fuck this up right now. Don't do that. Let me give you a little ring. Okay. Baby. I'll crack that energy for you all day long because it's very simple and it's that easy. Snap out of it, okay? If somebody's sucking you in, oh man, they get us good, them crones, don't they? The mother archetype is one of the most powerful on the planet because of that. For that, that is the crown that is heavy as fuck, that everyone who has babies has to carry. And now that's the mother and the father. That's the 2 fathers, 2 mothers. It doesn't matter. We're talking masculine, feminine parenting. So it goes dark real quick like. We can talk a lot moving forward about the sun and the pyramid, or the fire and earth elements, because that's how it's coming together. That being said, there's going to be some changes on the channel coming up in the next few videos, you'll see. So make sure you are subscribed, you are following, you got your notification bell turned on, because there's going to be all kinds of new content coming out here on EBINOTTI, and I can't wait to hear what you guys think about it. Tell me if you're loving it. Always hit that thumbs up button, because it really does help to circulate to others within the collective to see the messages. Oh, okay, I got excited because the deck that called to us was not what I was expecting. I went to grab the Tarot of the Familiars like I often do, but the Osho Zen Tarot wants to be seen and heard today, and I'm here for it. Cheers to you. I'm so sorry if you can hear like my gummy sinuses today. They just like won't let up. So lots of clearing going on. Doing our best to take care of ourselves spiritually first, mentally and emotionally second, physically third, okay? And that's like, wow, all the way to third, yes. And the reason is because you can't do a whole lot putting physical things into your body. Even exercising, if you're not in the right alignment, you can hurt yourself, okay? If you aren't listening to the body right now, then you are missing a huge amount of information that could be getting you where you want to go with a lot less effort, okay? And if effort is the thing that you want to give under new moon Capricorn, a lot of us do, then that's even more important of a message, because don't waste that precious energy when you could get 56 things done and you only get 10, okay? Don't waste that. Just because you think it should be put into here, you're feeling emotional, or you think you know everything. Capricorn can get you into a headspace where you think you know everything, and the person that gets betrayed is you. You betray yourself. Excuse me, so let's not do that. We're going to focus on the self. And we're going to stay disciplined when it comes to our practices, our rituals, our routines, okay? Oh, guys, the sinuses. Okay. One more shuffle from the Osho Zen Tarot. And we're going to get our tarot spread out here. Whoa! She exploded. And we might have got some reversals in there because of that. I don't have any reversals in my decks except for maybe one or two special decks. So we'll see if anything comes up in reverse. We will note it. We will note it. Bottom of the deck, the 10 of Wands with suppression. Suppression. So here's the thing. We can talk a lot about how other people suppress us, betray us, put that stanky ass judgment energy on us every time we're happy. They want us to be sad, so they say some shit around us. Here's the thing about this. 10s are always endings and new beginnings simultaneously. But this cycle will not end until you're done with it. Okay, there is a real message of power with the pyramid coming through here. Nobody can suppress you now unless you want them to, unless you allow them to. Want is maybe the wrong word. So, but you're being asked, do you want this? No? Great. Then, and then you get your call to action. Move here, do this, go there, stop this. You know, the action, 10s, fire, it's all action. And it's about more than you, okay? So this is taking action to make a move, and that could be a mental, emotional move. It could be a spiritual move. It could be a physical move. But this type of suppression, no. Not the divine feminine, definitely not the crone. She's been through this shit way too many times. She ain't taking it. She's murderous about it. You know what I mean? She'd be like, you or me, okay? Because it ain't gonna be fucking me. So, you know, that kind of energy. We don't want to allow suppression right now. Not for ourselves. We ain't putting it on other people. When we do use our power, distorted ways, abusive ways, okay? We make amends. Even if they don't want your apology, it doesn't matter. You can respect somebody else's choices. They don't want an apology. Fucking you apologize to God. Apologize to yourself. Forgive yourself. Make amends with yourself then if they don't want to hear it. Otherwise, you do that work. You do not suppress yourself and others right now and just walk about like you're not beating people in yourself with a club every other day. You can't be doing that. Beg forgiveness, okay? It's the energy that's coming through. Fucking beg forgiveness. Otherwise, it's gonna be dry as the fucking Sahara up in your love life, up in your friendships, your support, your nourishment that you're needing. That source gonna dry up real fucking quick if you allow suppression. If you push suppression onto others, okay? So you don't want to be doing that. We don't want to be doing that. We want it to be youthful and fresh and full of energy all up in our soil, okay? So that's the way that we allow others to be in our world, and then the parts that we allow out. The things that we give out, the things that we allow in. We want that nice and clean and pure and in alignment and powerful. We got our first card for the reading, Two of Pentacles coming up here as moment to moment. So Two of Pentacles, Two of Earth under new moon Capricorn, also an earth sign. This is like a multitasking, juggling kind of energy, two things existing at the same time that may be in conflict, but somehow we're making it work. So living moment to moment, a little touch and go, because when there is enough darkness on the table, we kind of have to go touch and go, moment to moment. Let me weigh this out. Okay, it's also taking a second. Instead of jumping from moment to moment to moment to moment, we take a second to live in the moment we are currently in. If it needs an extra minute or two, we give it. We have it. We don't have every single second of the day planned out. Okay, this is allowing, again, the energy of surrender and allowing. This is allowing things to come in and choosing to act, okay? Not out of betrayal and shut down suppression, but in a possibly even grateful, appreciative type of way. Possibly, if we can get there. Not always easy to get there to appreciation, but we can be good. We can still be good at this. We can move. We can make moves, make decisions. Feels like a lot of decision making with the Two of Earth. Twos are about decisions, partnerships, coming together, splitting apart. It's the choices we make, and a choice is always between at least two things. So big value energy, that's what Capricorn's all about, is our core values, okay? On the light side of things, it's about what we value, what matters to us, and really breaking that down from the masculine logical standpoint, okay? It's a masculine energy, it's how it goes, but it is the masculine version of a feminine element. So earth and water are the feminine elements. Earth is the masculine one out of those two. Okay, so taking the time to really find balance when it comes to health, wellness, everything to do with our abundance, our ambitions, what we're capable of. That's a big problem. I just heard it's a big problem. It's a big thing under Capricorn. The fuck are you valuable for? What is your value? Not your use. Using things is, we already know which way that's going with Capricorn. Second card out, we've got the Four of Fire, and I love it. Again, from the pyramid being three corners of power within the earthly realm, we get four corners of power in fire, okay? And we already know fire is very important. It's very, very important. Do you see the earth and fire references here coming up as earth and fire right in our reading to get us started? Okay, so from the 2 to the 4, we're leveling up here. Moving forward the way things are supposed to move forward, on the upswing, which is great. But again, there's a lot of the warnings coming through with it. Don't be using your energy in dark, nefarious ways. Now is not a good time for that. Take a look at the world and see how quickly they're eating each other alive. Okay, they're like literally just like they're just going for it right now. So you don't want to get involved. Now it's not the time to get involved. You can analyze, observe, witness, comment. You know, all the things, have your opinions. Let's discuss it. We do that. But you do want to be a little bit careful playing in arenas that aren't yours right now. Participation, you see how the Four of Fire is coming up as participation. It's like, decide what you want to participate in, because you're going to commit to it in some way. It's going to commit to you. Okay, it was like the old saying, you look into the projects look back at you. As we get our central energy, oh boy, is that in the night? Yes. Oh boy. Here we have the Knight of Air. Coming up as fighting. We're fighting. Okay, the Knight of Air defends itself very well, but gets real testy here. It's very immature here. In any kind of imbalance, outside of perfect alignment, which is very difficult for the warriors to stay in, okay? All the knights are warriors. You know what a warrior does. You know what its mission and its job is within the collective. So now we're breaking down the elemental warriors. The warrior of air pops off in the mouth, okay? So again, don't participate if you don't want to participate. The Four of Wands and the Knight of Air side by side is like a huge amount of conflict that people are just fishing for you to get involved with. This is politics. This is the celebrities that are desperate for press, so they're paying for paparazzi. You know what I mean? Like the magazines and stuff like that you see with like celebrities on it, all of that is paid. And it's not like people paying celebrities to get photos of them. It's celebrities paying people to show up and take photos of them. Wow. Those are the same celebrities that'll call you desperate for taking a selfie, trying to dress like them and act like them, like the, you know, super catty type of celebrities where it's just like, ooh, your desperation is showing. So don't want to get involved with the fighting. That's for sure. Under New Moon Capricorn, the mind can really be the thing that slips. So we want to keep a close check on the mind and not get too involved with other people's emotions and the baiting. There's a lot of baiting going on online in a lot of different ways. Fourth card out, the 10 of Pentacles, the 10 of Earth. And look at it, holly jolly world all up in here. We are the world. Beautiful. So in the earthly realm, here's the message. The energy coming in for all of us now is the connection. This is everything from understanding very quickly some truths, to telepathy, to the unified consciousness field, manifestation on a whole new level, prophecy. There's a lot of different connections coming in, a lot of gifts coming online for the collective. So I'm loving this because I'm reading this for us. And it's like, wow, look at you guys go. Learning to build wealth on the inside so that it can never be tainted. It can never be taken. It's like once you accumulate certain types of wealth, the entire industry and market around that piece of wealth gets cleaner, gets cleaned up, gets your power shoved. Wow. It's really powerful. Like the connection of all the, people in this holding hands. It's like once that circle is closed, that's it. The power coming off of it, the connection that was made there can never be broken. So there's this really strong tie to acquiring new wealth in a building type of way. This is literally wealth coming in off. I'm trying to hear it in a moment, in a second. Wealth changes here for the collective. And you don't have to fight for it. That's the thing. It's like you don't have to put any effort in, but you do have to be the one not in conflict to receive it. Okay, so if you get caught up in some, oh, come participate, this is feeling very much so like satanic panic kind of energy. It's like that temptation to distract yourself from what's about to be literally falling into your lap. Like, oh, like you'd be shocked at this alignment when it happens, because it's like, oh, I wasn't expecting my like wealth to be on the outside so quickly, my internal wealth, my alignment. I wasn't expecting to see that in my physical life. And now you're like not playing catch up, but running in a direction, and you're excited, and there are challenges on the way, new challenges, things that you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I have to learn this, that, and the other. Underneath the corn woman, we have, I was going to say esoteric. With growth. The maiden, sorry, my brain went so many places. The maiden energy, again, the wealth and abundance of children, of healthy babies, creating life and gardens and food and nourishment and all of the things that the feminine is capable doing in its maiden and motherhood. Even the crone energy in a very healthy, very spiritually aligned, powerful way. So there's a maiden, mother, crone ancestry energy coming through here, where it's like, okay, you are very, very, very well protected, not just with your ancestors, the divine. Having a good look at your little part, because you do play a part in this energy where everyone in the world can connect to it and be safe because of it. So creating some real powerful energies around you. I'm seeing a lot of circle energy, like crop, what the fuck are those things? Crop circles. Wow, kid, it's fine. Crop circles and a lot of sacred geometry. I'm seeing the Merkabahs that we're seeing as drones in the sky, all of things like that. People holding hands, dancing circles, sitting around fires in circles. So circles coming through in a really big way. the way that we connect, the way that we move energy has everything to do with the spiral, okay? There's no such thing as squares in nature. Again, the masculine and feminine differences coming through there, because we absolutely can find squares in nature if we choose to use our logical mind to do so. Okay, but the way naturally that energy flows, everything moves in round, perfectly spherical shapes. Okay, so we are the world, participating in a big way, not getting sucked into the fight, keeping our priorities very much so in check here, so that our core values are in alignment, just in case anybody wants to drop, fifth card out, and final card before we clarify, just in case anyone wants to drop like massive amounts of abundance and inheritance into our lives, it's fine. We're going to keep everything in alignment so that we can do said things, be there when we need to sign on the dotted line to drop 46.5 million into the bank account, okay? Two of water, two of cups coming up as our fifth card out, and friendliness. Do you see the tree energy going on here? It's a pretty clear message, right? The power now is in the tree of life, nature, and what is naturally aligned. Two of cups, we align through which center? The heart center. Of course, it's the center of the system, the center of our vessel, the tree of life. It is the point where two worlds collide, so we can function in all the ways that we want to through the heart space. It's not just like one way of being. It's not one element. It's a multitude of elements, all the elements we don't even know about yet. Okay, so coming into alignment here, once we really feel the core values lining up, we can feel the collective that plays into those same core values. That's when it starts showing up in real life. I mean, in all the ways, surprises and beautiful fated events, luck like you couldn't fucking imagine will be showing up. But then there's something that solidifies because the emotion and the heart is on it now. It cannot be moved off, even when the physical world does get janky, does go, you know, not good luck, the opposite, not alignment, the opposite. It's like, it doesn't matter. Your physical vessel aligned and the heart chakra followed, and there's no way to push you off of this now. The bad moments are just, first card out, Two of Pentacles, moment to moment. The bad moments that aren't in alignment are barely noticed. They're just, it's just the breath that you took subconsciously, as opposed to the deep yawn that you took that it was like, oh my God, I feel so good, I'm going to go to sleep. You know, so passive and impassive here, but it's feeling so powerful in the alignment that once you get into this alignment, you'll feel it, because you won't be in conflict anymore. You know, you won't be struggling in that way anymore. You'll just be sitting friendly and happy and fucking absorbing all of the beautiful sunlight, and that's it. And you'll be observing the way that people are in such conflict, but there's nothing you can do for them. You can't save them. You're not going to laugh or clap or cheer or anything. You just pray for them. And that's standing on account, okay, for all of the collective, regardless of how fucked up they are. These are our people. A lot of the really messed up energy is like our own people, you know. Sometimes it's us even. So we don't jeer, sneer, laugh, you know, at that type of energy. If anything, it's like, be respectful. That could be you next. Okay, we got some clarifiers. We got two out here. So under the Two of Pentacles, moment to moment, we get the Six of Pentacles coming up as compromise, which is very, very interesting. Second one out, wow, the Death card, Major Arcana number 13, coming up under the Four of Wands as transformation. We're going to address this first before we go back and see our first clarifier, because listen, coming off of Scorpio, everyone knows November is a rocky month because it's Scorpio season. Are you ready for the underworld? Are you ready for the subconscious? Everything starts to die. The sunlight starts to fade away. People start to panic. That's what it's about. If you are a desert, then yes, the death season is going to be very frightening. If you can embrace and understand your power, the alignments and the growth, that you have participated in. You see here, it's representing all 4 elements, not just fire element, all 4 elements, creating the 4 corners of foundation. It's alignment, okay? So a lot of energy here. I'm seeing Anubis in his chariot just taking people straight up out of here. That's not even his job. His job is to walk you through, you know, to cross the in-betweens, to cross you through and stuff like that. And it's like, nah, his people are just straight up taking people out of here right now. Like, you heard of the Anunnaki? It's the same thing. If you want to look back at ancient Egypt and understand what those beings and those gods were really about, the Anunnaki is a good way to look at it now because everyone's talking about them. There is business spiritually being taken care of, okay? All around ya. What do you know, the Reaper? Don't fear the Reaper. This is that energy. It's like, don't fear it. Even if you are one of the ones being taken up out of here, you do have the opportunity to repent. Or if you're not about that Christian life, if it's not repentance for you, then it's like humble, or I'm going with clinical medicine, science, and stuff like that, psychology. So if it's not repentance, and forgiveness, it's still the same thing. Find the clinical words for that and do that instead. Accept, surrender, forgive yourself. Because transformation season is exactly that. It's about transforming, okay? You can always participate in your own transformation. Stepping back really quickly to the 2 of Pentacles clarified by the 6 of Pentacles. 2s are about balance. 6s come from Major Arcana 6 right here. The Lovers, which is about choices. It's about, again, choices. Weighing things out. But here we're not just weighing out the value to us, the way we feel about the things. We're weighing between the head and the mind. The head and the heart. The mind and the heart. Okay, so what do we think? What do we feel? And that's how we make those choices. Here coming up is compromise, which I think is really important, because who's compromising? Is it always the heart? Is it always the heart that has to compromise and transform and become smaller so that we can function in our 9 to 5? Because I'm telling you, if you've been feeling the weight of that, now is the time to pivot. Now is the time to shift. Even if you can only shift mentally, shift into a life that doesn't have to be that grindstone-y. You know what I mean? You got to get into faith. You got to get into alignment here. You got to get into spirituality, because that is the way forward in the stability, the safety, and the logic that you're looking for. It is faith-based. So continuing to go back to the masculine world, the 3rd dimension, Capricorn can really take us dark places in the 3rd dimension if we can't get into a faith-based reality. Okay, I know it's difficult. I know it's like a paradox. 2 things true that seem to be in conflict in the same space. Can you hold that? Do you have enough power and enough space within you to hold 2 conflicting truths? Because you're going to need to. For some of us, we're going to need to. And for the rest of us in the collective, we are praying and holding all of that space for you, calling you over to the side where things are in balance and alignment, because trust me, the only thing harder than new moon Capricorn is full moon Capricorn, okay? This is one of those tricky bitches for sure. You want to make sure you got your health and your physical world sorted. And the only way to do that is to go inside, feel your emotions, and then align to spirit. Faith, find faith, any faith. Faith in yourself, your higher self, hopefully, not just your physical self. But do you, baby. Become what you were meant to become. Okay, there's a big growth energy coming through. Let's get the rest of our clarifiers out, and then we can wrap for new moon Capricorn. Thank you so much for being here with me today and doing the work on your spiritual journey. We love you for it. Okay, we got a couple. Did we get them all? No, not quite. We got 2. Central energy clarifying the Knight of Air, the Knight of Swords. We get the 3 of Fire, the 3 of Wands coming up as experiencing. I'm going to talk about that. Then we got Major Arcana Nada, the Fool. Major Arcana 0 coming up under the World card. Again, we're going to go forward before we go back. Here's the dealio. When the alignment happens in the physical, when your physical vessel feels the click of all the final hand connecting to make the perfect circle of unity, pow, I just heard from, if you remember that Chappelle Show episode, we're just going to leave it right there so I don't get that copyright, because you know how they be. If you know that energy of like, pow, that's how spirit is coming in with this type of energy of fearlessness. The Fool is meant to look foolish to people who only function, look no further than the message we just skipped, only trying to function in the physical. Of course, the Fool looks like a fool to people who only function off of air and fire, masculine energy. They only know logic. They barely work with the spirit of fire. They mostly work with the tool of fire. That means they're not getting all the benefits out of the things that they are actively engaging with. It can be deep, but it's mostly a surface level projection. A lot of projection energy coming up off of the Knight of Air and the Three of Fire. If you're not looking into your future, looking into the horizon and seeing the actual actions that you can take, hi baby, you can really be moving in all kinds of crazy ass ways right now. So when it comes down to it, discernment, this is a thing that a lot of people are talking about right now. Discerning, being able to know which direction that we're going in. Why is experience so important? Why? Because we don't want to waste time. We don't want to waste time getting involved in fights. There's nothing that Satan himself loves more than getting you into a fight to get you off of your spiritual journey, which is your Three of Fire. What is the number 3, if not the first point of power? Okay, so we don't want to take our central energy, first point of power, and waste it, expend all of that developed power and energy on Satan. All it's really doing is making us waste our energy. If you are into the question, you know, like I can't hold good friends, like why do I always have bad energy around me? Am I cursed? Is it a bloodline thing? I highly recommend a channel here on YouTube called Mental Gems. It's actually Kareen Allured Mental Gems. So if I remember, I will link it down in the description box with the spirit of jealousy and envy. She does a lot of videos. She is Christian, so she brings up like, you know, Bible quotes and stuff, but it's not just a biblical channel or for Christianity. It's like, look at the way people will attack you. Look at the way that people will hold this energy, whether you call it the spirit of envy or you call it the energy of envy. 2 different ways of looking at it. But I promise you, you'll find information if that's really been triggering you lately on a channel like that. So please do check out all of the other kind of content that you're being called to check out right now. It's really going to help you find your internal balance when the amount of temptation to get into a fisticuffs is as strong as it is under full new moon Capricorn. I gotta stop with the full moon energy, but maybe that is the full culmination of what's starting right now. So we don't want to put any energy into this, the opening of Capricorn's moon cycle, new moon Capricorn. We don't want to put the type of energy into that 6 months from now we are still fucking dealing with in a conflicting way. Okay, and we definitely don't want to put it in a way where 6 months from now we haven't moved at all. If you are rooted like the pyramid, you're making huge mistakes right now, okay? So let that be for you, however it needs to be. Be free, be in unison, okay? Be faith-driven, especially when it comes to your actions. There's another message coming through with the fighting energy that some of us do have to stand up for ourselves and others. I mean, we all, at this collective, we all stand up for innocence, okay? We will literally die, sacrifice ourselves for innocence. That's just what we do. But this is not about sacrificing yourself for innocence. That's the day-to-day practices. This is about sacrificing yourself, your peace, and your zen for truth, for righteousness, okay? Because we don't look the other way when we see shit going down. We are not that type of good man. It's like, don't do it around me if you don't want to be called on it, because we'll fucking call you on it. I will stop everything. I will drop everything to jump this cliff and get you, okay? That's how we defend purity, innocence, others, ourselves, the world. What's the difference between being nice and being kind? Somebody nice will always say what you want to hear. Somebody kind will always say what you need to hear. That's the difference, okay? And you know I'm that kind of friend. You know, if you've known me in real life, I'm that kind of friend. Definitely not nice. Every time I leaned into niceness because I thought I was fucking up, I was really, then I started fucking up. Kindness is about telling the truth even when it sucks. Kindness is about making the hard decisions when it really sucks, because that's the right thing to do. And that's the kind thing to do, okay? So, whew, layers to the guilt and shame, but we are not getting distracted. We are not getting pulled off of it. And we are certainly not getting involved in anything trying to take our power just for the sake of wastefulness. Again, those videos from Corrine Allured coming up in the mind to be like, is the spirit of envy and jealousy in you? Is it in others around you? Are they sucking you dry? Are they looping you in? Because they don't care if they win the argument. Some of these like dark entities, they don't care if they win the argument. What they care about is whether or not they got you out of your character. If they got you off of your integrity and your wisdom, acting stupid now because you're emotional. And we all, baby, the wisest crone of us all, the maturest, wisest, most experienced is still susceptible to that kind of distortion. So pay attention. If you feel that type of energy coming in, it's on the wind. You can hear it. You can smell it. You can taste it if you want to. Okay, that's just how it goes. So the sense is very active. I'm gonna have to go find my kitty and give her some loving. Babe is out of town, but out of the house today, and she's a little sad and lonely, so I thought she'd want to come hang out, but she doesn't like the cards. She doesn't hang out at the altar. She was his cat for years and years before I ever came into the picture. So she doesn't like the cards. She's not about that life. We got our final clarifier, but on the bottom of the deck, we've got the Two of Wands. Now, I already thought we saw the Two of Wands, but 9-9, we started with the Two of Pentacles, and we got lots of other fire to talk about here. So decisions, 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 whether we see it in the twos or we see it in the representation coming up, Six of Pentacles, like the Lovers. It's going to be decisions here, but it's really about, do you see it? Possibilities, okay? Options. Final message. Under the Two of Cups, we're getting the Eight of Swords coming up as guilt. Do you see the fuckery? They don't care. The enemy. Christians like to call him the enemy. The dark side does not care how it gets you off of being light, as long as they get you off of it, okay? As long as you're not in union here, all aligned and glowing and fucking multicolored and, you know, all connected and all that stuff. All they want is anything else. I call it distortion, and there are levels to distortion. There's perversion, there's abuse. You know, distortion is something we all play into, but perversion and abuse is when you cross lines. So be very careful how you move forward from this moment to moment. Okay, be very, very careful. We want to be very testy with ourselves here, making sure we're double checking before we're making moves, so we're not going to be playing out on negative energy. When the emotion gets you, it's going to get you at some point, okay? When the emotion gets you triggered, remember, kindness to the self. Use the waters to realign. Nature and earthing is a great way to do this. Water you can always tap into because it's within you. Nature and earthing, all you got to do is feel, visualize, or get into nature, and it can help you get back to this alignment if you stay in the mind. Big message. If you stay in the mind only when you are tainted, when you are distorted, when it's come in, you will cross the line. Okay, be very cautious that you are moving every piece of energy that comes from the mind through the heart first. Through the heart, okay? Let the heart filter the mind. Do I feel that way? Do I believe that? That's all you got to ask the mind. Okay? Get that conversation going in there. Don't just let the fucking reel keep playing over and over and over. You got to get in there. So in a lot of ways, we can connect to friends, the pyramid and the 3 being about friends. Friendship should be very inner circle right now. Okay. We're not doing confessions of a teenage drama queen with strangers right now. We're just not. That's not it. Because I can tell you exactly who that stranger is without needing to see them or know them or hear your situation. Here's your free reading. You don't need a personal. Here's the answer. Yes. Yes, they are. Those dead eyes that you saw, yes, they were. Okay, so being very, very clear. Discernment, again, something that a lot of people within the community are talking about, the spiritual community. Discernment, this is why. 2 things being true at the same time. Yes, there's a lot of reasons that you can justify, oh, I'm so distraught and it's heavy and it's... No, the reason we're not going there is because it's not productive. It does not nourish us. All it creates is deserts. Deserts where nothing grows. It's barren land. It's full of things willing to betray each other for survival, baby. That's the truth of it. Okay, so we're not allowing the desert. We will be the fucking oasis here. The corn woman. Nourishing. Okay? Anybody who wants to, and I'll show you her again just because she's doing the most. Do you see how... Same girl. That's her mama. That's her 2 generations from now. You see? It's so easy to allow the scarring, to allow the scorching of your earth, your feminine, and it becomes, we are Siamese if you please. You hear it? We are Siamese if you don't please. So here's the problem, right? It's like we are and we will call in our equal. And trust me, you don't want to meet your demon like that. You don't want to meet your demon in mirror form. Stay right away from that. Inside, your darkness, your mistakes, all the parts of you, when you get in there with your guilt and your darkness, you're going to understand where it came from in a way that will allow you to love yourself. But if you don't understand the loathing that you have, that came from, or that it represented itself as, you'll know when you get in there what I'm saying. If you don't go through this, you will only become the miserable old goat, okay? You don't want to be classified in any way as a miserable old goat, you know, constantly childish in the mind. It seems old and it seems wise, but once you get in there, you realize it's not. It's not stable. It's not balanced. It's certainly not friendly. Everything friendly is like the sociopath version of love. This is what it's supposed to look like, right? When they smile and there's just fucking dead eyes and you're like, I'm so not comfortable right now. We're going to leave that one right there. That was the perfect ending for that reading. Listen, you know we like to talk about cinema. We haven't talked about a lot of cinema today, but keep an eye out for the next videos. And make sure you're subscribed to both of EBINOTTI, my YouTube channels, because there's going to be tons of chit-chat content coming out on the beauty channel where we are talking cinema, but not just cinema, content. We're going to talk about all the fun things going on the internet right now, what I'm watching, what I'm observing, what I think I want to discuss with you, because I think it's relevant, especially when you pair the readings, the messages coming off the readings, to something as lighthearted as the latest video from Cult and Coffee. Cult and Coffee? Cult and Coffee. Why can I not think of her YouTube channel name? Anyways, I'll link down in the description box. If you're curious about anything we talked about today, make sure you check out that description box. Also at the top of the comment section, I'll make sure to pin 1 or 2 things so you can have quick access from there. I know they're making the description box more and more difficult to find, so no worries, I got you. We're gonna leave that one right there. Thank you so much for being here today and doing the work on you. I love you so much, and I will see you in your next reading.